There's been 7 adaptations based around the world of Hannibal Lecter. Of those, 5 actors have portrayed the character, and I've taken the most popular 3 of them, and I'm going to say which one is the favorite. See what I did there? Also, I haven't read any of the books. This isn't going to be a comparison of how he's portrayed in the movies versus the books. This is just going to be comparing the 3 adaptations to each other, seeing what the differences are, what would make for a good story, which ones are my personal favorite. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on these characters, and if you think I'm wrong, I'm sure people will have no issue telling me that down below in the comments. Manhunter is a 1986 film directed by Michael Mann, starring Brian Cox as Hannibal Lecter. Brian Cox obviously now, popularized as the character Logan Roy in Succession, and also as doing the McDonald's voice. He does the McDonald's commercials. But this was one of his first film performances. He was mostly a theater actor before, and he is a very small role in the movie. He's only a couple scenes, only a couple minutes of screen time in total. Very minor character. In Michael Mann films, he's known for intense kind of thrillers. Heat, De Niro, Ferrari. These are all his movies that he's known for. He's very intense kind of scenes and shots and angles. The atmosphere of Hannibal, he's just in a white room. He's very kind of mild. I think there's when he first wakes up in the introduction scene, he's kind of shaken, but he's very mild and very, very calculated. He orchestrates this whole plot to get the phone so he can send the address of Will Graham. And then you compare that to Silence of the Lamb. This was the classic. This was the one that really popularized the character, the genre as a whole. Stars Anthony Hopkins. Spawned an entire franchise out of this. There's 2 or 3 sequels after this one. This is more, strictly horror. I would say that with the Manhunter, it's more of, psychological thriller, cat and mouse, sort of action-y. But this one is just they lean, more towards the horror and gore aspect of it. And it's kind of immortalized it as horror fame, the genre itself, the character. And it also created the character in a way that he's the supporting role, whereas with Manhunter, it's a very minor role. He's kind of a background character. He's not one of the, but this one is the number 2 basically. He's the main guy, and then that his popularity in that made him the main guy in all these other movies. With Manhunter, sure, that was the first film, but this is the one that really kicked off the whole franchise of it. The Anthony Hopkins version is more of how people view the character today, as he's very he's very creepy guy. He's always thinking about something, and they say about how it was shot, so it looks like he's behind the gates. I don't know what I don't remember what, but it was something about it's to show that he's not actually caged in or something, and that he's the genius behind all of it. But now the most recent version, obviously the Hannibal TV series, Mads Mikkelsen, this was a big TV series. This was the Supernatural, Teen Wolf, Arrow, all those kind of where they make them young and sexy now. They wear suits, and they're young and lean and fit and hot guys. I think the thing with this character is he's more of a James Bond suave. With the other ones, I think they're more just straight up, that they're crazy guys and a killer and a cannibal. But this one, he's he's keeping it undercover, but he's suave, he's sexy, he cooks food. I'm not saying it's a bad portrayal, but I'm saying that of the 3, I think this is the one that, from what's been characterized from the previous portrayals, I think this one obviously is maybe connected the least of what someone would entertain as a version of Hannibal. Despite the Tumblr girls, they love him. They love posting their thirst traps of him. They love watching him cook. He does that. The other ones don't do that. But, Anthony Hopkins cooked Ray Liotta's brains or something. So I guess he does it too. He wears 3-piece suits and he does his hair in a slicked way. And I don't think this is the one that, I'm not saying it's a bad show or a bad character, but I don't think that this is the one that, the portrayal that the people need. I think obviously the Anthony Hopkins one is the one that kind of set it all off, and the one that probably most people are aware of, and the one that probably most people are fans of. But it's something about the Brian Cox one I think is very, He's not trying to be in the limelight, trying to be the center of the attention. He's more, subdued. He gets his shit done, and then he fucks out of the movie for the rest of the movie. So I don't know. That's just my take. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about it. Do you agree with me? Who cares if you don't? I don't care. Whatever. Thanks for watching this. I appreciate that. And maybe I'll start comparing other portrayals of other characters. There's so many. The Green Hornet. I could compare the Seth Rogen Green Hornet to the other one, the original one. Who knows? Thanks for watching this one, though. I'll see you then. Big peace.